discuss the darkest year of our adventures in the Kingdom of Chats in Conversation Castle.
No, I thought you were gonna say Chad. It was very, I don't know.
What?
Oh, anyway.
Steve,
Hi.
talk to me. How'd you feel about session? Questions, comments, concerns? I broke a lot of your stuff this session.
Hi, Toasty.
Rip and Rip Twisty. So I will say, like, I'm a little disappointed that my opening, I can understand why, but, like, I attempted to whip out, the fireball was happening, I counterspelled it, and then immediately, like, a bomb is taken out and used instead, and I'm just like, oh, that seems kind of pointless. And then I'm like, oh, like, you know, as a GM, you didn't have a non-destroyed map, so you needed, for some reason, the cafe to be destroyed. I'm like, okay, yeah, plus, instead of, like, full fireball damage of, like, 25-ish damage, it's instead 7 on a failed save. So, like, you know, I guess that's pretty worth it.
You were at a pretty decent distance from the blast, too, so...
It very much, like, Relic just kind of stood there the entire combat, and when he wasn't standing there, he walked to an area and was just, like, kind of upset, because this was not, like, this was a place that he really enjoyed and had a lot of memories of, because, like, you know, in his younger years, it was mostly Whitefall, but, you know, in his learning years, he came to Wizard City.
Yeah.
He also, you know, went to the Adventurers Guild for a bit, etc., etc. But, like, you know, he has some fond memories here, especially in this cafe, and so he was just, like, really upset, and also, like, you know, when you're in magic training, they train you against other spellcasters,
Yeah.
and Relic really has that mentality of, yeah, I was able to hold my own against spellcasters who in in Wizard City, being trained classically as wizards, and I feel like Relic is now having the realization of, like, oh, not everyone was able to have top-of-the-line education for spellcraft, so he's kind of getting cocky. It's going to slap him in the face, but, you know, the other caster whipped a fireball at him, and Relic, just due to having fire immunity, just stood there and stared at them. And really, this teenager is getting just this power trip, power fantasy, and I am, like, as someone who is marginally beyond a teenager.
And then right next to you, someone casts fucking Skeleton Divine Death Blast.
That was a thing of, like, okay, it's a little unnecessary, but I'm assuming you're doing it to just end combat, because what are we gonna do, gang up and kick the shit out of this character? Like,
that guy was actually the strongest guy on the field. Over 100 HP and a AC of 16.
I gotta ask.
Multi-attack and a really nasty spear.
So GM to GM, I gotta ask. Why?
Tension.
Tension?
Tension.
They weren't an enemy.
Also, it was kind of funny.
Like, as a gag to end combat, sure. I could accept that.
Like, okay, you were never actually meant to fight that guy.
The final guy or the skeleton?
You were never meant to fight that final guy.
Okay. Why?
He was going to be a target of Jack's,
Okay.
What was the component for that? Tangible Wrath. The component for the material component for Skeleton Divine Death Blast is his tangible wrath. The Jack is a character, and his brother just died.
Yeah, you killed Times New Roman off screen. I'm a little upset about that.
You're supposed to be upset. All that tells me is it worked.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better if you actually had us interact with Times New Roman and killed him in front of us. But, like, still, Times New Roman being dead, I am upset about that.
You good. That was the desired effect. Like, this was the session where we're supposed to come into this year, like, and we need to mess some shit up.
For sure.
It's like, okay, we've had our slow sessions, we've had our, like, mission briefings, we know what we're doing, we had a fun heist. Now it's time for shit to get real.
Yeah, buckle down and do it. We need the biggest thing for this session was everyone, besides like the combat. The combat was obviously like, here are enemies. Okay, we kill them. And beside that, it was like, okay, guys, what are we doing here? And you know, I'm assuming once we hit Havana and once we get through everything, like, we'll really be picking up on the plot. Yeah. We lost the plot because we, like, after things got started and, like, things were kind of murky, but then, you know, we had breaks and that made us forget even more. Yes. And so it's like, okay, what is happening?
Well,
and now we are, you know, being, you know, holiday break. I'm not going to blame anyone for holiday break. It's holiday break. So once we understand the plot again and know what's going on, like, there are definitely some things that you could tell I picked up on, and
it's like there's an entire other plot developing elsewhere in the world, but right now the Adventure Guild is like, prioritize your current task, but then you're gonna want to check in again because chances are priorities are gonna shift.
Yeah, I see. I very much. I'm picking up on there are external factors. It's like, hey, why? The multiple people said this session, like, what the heck? Wizard City, shouldn't they have, like, tons of security and this and that? And it's like, yeah, they probably should. That's not a, like, I'm assuming it's not an oversight on the GM's part.
No.
It very much is a, yes.
There are more factors at work here.
I was trying to toss in my 2 cents of, this doesn't make sense. There's more going on. And so if this doesn't make sense, why are we doing this?
No, you hit it right on the nose. There is more going on that the party isn't aware of yet.
That was my assumption because of how huge of a city it is.
And in the in future sessions, more of this will probably come to light, but right now we have other problems that we need to focus on. In fact, nobody actually asked Siler why he was here.
Who's Siler?
The goblin guy from the guild.
Yeah, because wasn't he with Gunthorian?
Yes, but it is... Alright, this one's a freebie. It is known that the guild provides some security for the event. In fact, I'm gonna throw this out there. You've done it before, Relic, because it's easy work for the newbies in the guild.
So the Adventurers Guild was assisting, and they're... Oh no, that is implying that...
Yep.
So
there's a snitch. There's a spy.
There's probably multiple.
Yeah.
There's probably some fake adventurers going around.
Yep.
Could be in your party.
Well, no one here actually, as far as I know, dropped a bomb, so I'm pretty sure it's none of us.
I certainly hope not.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Because as far as I know, no one was missing when that attack happened.
Okay. Right. Was that it, Steve?
Yeah, that is all my questions, comments, and concerns.
Oh, that's some good conversation.
Yeah.
Eric!
Okay. I did, for the most part, actually like the session a lot. I felt like it actually contributed quite a bit. I think I was a bit let down by the end of the actual battle because it just kind of ended abruptly to me. Didn't feel as satisfying since you just let someone else take care of it. I understand why now, but it still doesn't. It feels underwhelming.
Yeah, you were never meant to fight that guy, though. You were never gonna fight that guy. Like, that guy probably, actually, for real, probably would have flattened the party.
Oh, really?
Probably. It's just, to me, it just feels like kind of an underwhelming finale. Like, we just didn't do anything. I was hoping that Relic would actually get his revenge, because I feel like that would have been much more satisfying.
Well, he has multi-attack, and a spear melee weapon, which has a plus
I know, it's a case where I wish he was just weaker, because it would have made it for a much more interesting ending to me than just, oh, here comes Frank? I can't remember his name. Out of nowhere, just ending the battle. I think that was kind of underwhelming.
Jack.
I get it. Jack?
Yeah. Jack the Skeleton.
Okay, Jack. Yeah, Jack the Skeleton, my bad. Completely forgot. This kind of felt underwhelming. I wish maybe we find out after we defeated the last soldier that he's also here taking down a lot of other enemies, and maybe we see somebody try to attack him and then he does the blast. Because I feel like that would have at least gave us more warning. That would have been more instant and not as less satisfying.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I felt like I did a lot this session. I felt like I was actually contributing, which is something that's normally rare for me, I admit that. But here I actually felt like I did more than just do nothing. So, yeah, otherwise, this was a good session for me.
Okay. Slick Mick had to leave, but he did say, good game, epic combat. Shane, what about you?
Wow! Man, I'm just chilling. Like, I share some similar sentiments and everything, but otherwise I don't have too many strong feelings about it.
You took a lot of damage there.
It was fine. I was in wild shape.
Wow. That's a lot of damage.
I wasn't concerned about it because I was in wild shape. I did go down to 11 health. I believe my total health is like 34, 35 when I'm a dire wolf. But, I mean, those are just free hit points. Once I go out of wild shape, I have my regular hit points.
Okay, so that's how that works. Alright.
I believe they were changing it in the newest like update to like D&D rules.
We're
Otherwise,
playing 5e rules, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, they seem to be changing it, but otherwise the basic rules was that when you're in wild shape, it's its own hit point pool, because it's also its own AC unless you have a specific thing that causes your armor to meld into, like, you know, your wild shape that causes you to have the same, the same armor class as if you were in regular form with your armor on. But I don't have that, so I just have that, but the bonus hit points are nice, so it's an extra. Or it might have been 37, so I have a bonus 37 hit points, and then once that's gone, I just go back to normal form, and
It's
I
35.
can just fight. 35, okay.
Yeah.
Can't remember. But yeah, it's free hit points, so it's nice.
Okay. Yeah.
It's part of the
which-
reason I use it, plus because I'm more likely to hit, and I have some better attacks and damage I can do in wild shape because, I chose a druid that is more powerful when in wild shape.
Okay. Yeah, and you don't need to worry about that changing because I will say this: Dungeons and Dorkheads is going to be 5e forever unless a newer edition is actually better.
Yeah, I get you. That's why a lot of people were
Yeah.
doing, 3.5 for so long, because they preferred that over what was the new stuff. But then, 5e added a lot of improvements that were definitely yeah, we can move away from 3.5 now.
5e is a lot more approachable.
Yeah, I did 3.5 for a very long time, but 3.5 is authentic D&D, while 5e people will compare it to being an in-between of 3.5 D&D and Pathfinder. Where it's more approachable and less fuck your face level rules. Shit like that. Because
Jesus
3.5,
Christ.
it can be a fucking disaster sometimes. I've almost solely done 3.5 campaigns. So
3.5 is rough.
yeah, it is rough, and it's I've solely done 3.5, and now I'm doing GURPS, and GURPS is a fucking mess, and so I'm having a great time.
Heard
over
of
here.
GURPS. I've never used it.
Oh,
I know it was
man.
supposed to be used for writing Fallout,
I mean,
right?
you already can get an idea of how intense it is in terms of what you're going into with how you have to have long lists of pros and cons for your character,
Oh.
and damage is specific to body parts, and you will lose limbs and shit
Yeah, that's what
like
I've
that.
heard.
We've had one person in our party lose both of their limbs, reattached
Oh.
them each time, but they've lost both of their arms.
Yeah, that's what I figured GURPS was, because yeah, I remember GURPS specifically because it was the precursor to Fallout's battle system, the original Fallout. And yeah, that's actually Fallout.
GURPS is literally if you want some homebrew, yeah, you do fucking GURPS. Shit is insane. I mean, right now, in my GURPS campaign, our party is I'm playing Dante. I decided to move Dante over to this campaign. So we have Dante, so Sharkman, a human that is from I forgot the terminology for it, but from modern day. My brother is literally playing himself from 2012. Specifically chose around the year of 2012. And we have another character that's around that same year who is an army soldier. And then we also have a Pokemon, a Braixen to be specific. She's our magician basically. And we also have a kind of a cleric, Moogle. So a Final Fantasy Moogle.
This
and
is
we
an
also-
absurd image.
And then we have a regular D&D medieval times, that kind of style, but is D&D world ranger, human. And then we have Mega
How
Man.
did I get here?
We have straight up Mega Man. That is our party. Yeah,
Okay,
so we
that's
got
the most
Final
character.
Fantasy. We got Final Fantasy. We got regular D&D. We have real life. We have
We've got an actual
Pokemon. We have
Pokemon.
Mega Man. Oh, and also most of the monsters we've been fighting are the dead space creatures. So we have Necromorphs, and we're fighting a lot of the monsters from Monster Hunter. We almost were going to get murdered by a Devil Joe. It was a bad time. So shit is whack. My brother literally has a sentient fishing pole. That's his most powerful weapon.
Yeah,
Shit is nuts.
Hunter, for reference of how wacky Pathfinder and 3.5 are, through a collection of custom-built magic items and feats, I have a character who is a human brawler, which a brawler is a fighter monk hybrid. Because of the class, they have improved on-armored strike. So if I make a main hand punch, I can automatically make a free offhand punch if I'm unarmed. At level 11, I have 3 attacks, which double to 6 attacks because of my secondary fist. I got a monk's robe, not a super expensive magic item. It counts my monk level as 5 levels higher. I enchanted a Amulet of Mighty Fists to have impacting. So not only does the Amulet of Mighty Fists give all of my unarmored strike, or like my punching strikes, +2 to attack and damage, but also impacting makes it a size category larger. My equivocal of level 16 large-sized brawler has 1d6 plus 1d4 from spiked gauntlets, plus their 7 strength, plus the 2 from the amulet, plus their magical enchantments on their gauntlets. And then if they're fighting in an urban environment with their improved critical, they crit on a 19 and 20, and if they crit, it is times 3, making it 9d6 plus 2d4 plus, I think it was like 14? Which technically the plus is also doubled, so it'd be plus like 28. My character, on average, when I was able to get a crit, which, you know, I have 6 attacks in a round and a 10% crit chance, they would do about 90 to 100 damage. And if they aren't critting, they're ridiculous amount of pluses, because you just take specific feats that allow you to do what you do better. You specialize. You can either get really diverse or really heavily specialized, and that character was really heavily specialized. And the thing is, they had like their ability to punch, their archetype was sundering. So if you attempt to hit them with a weapon or you're wearing armor, no you fucking aren't. They will use one of their actions, one of their various attack rolls, to either snap your weapon in half or break your armor, which it doesn't matter that you have a magic weapon. He has adamantine gauntlets and a specialization in breaking your weapon. So it doesn't matter if you have the Holy Avenger, he's snapping the Holy Avenger in half. And then are you specialized in unarmored fighting, or unarmed fighting? Probably not. So what do? You try and run away from him? Well, the rest of his feats, which brawlers have this stupid ability that as a bonus action, you can take up to, I think, 3 to 4 additional feats depending on your level. He had a specific feat tree that if you try and run away, it triggers an attack of opportunity and he follows you up to his full movement, which he had 40 feet movement as opposed to regular 30 feet movement. If you attempted to teleport, he also had a feat for that, where he would grab you and teleport with you regardless of where you go. So, Pathfinder is fucking horrifying when you get past level 10, because you start playing Rocket Tag. And that is one reason why people play D&D 5e.
That was a very long reason.
Yeah, it is fucking horrifying.
Thank you for that analysis.
Yeah, so super fun to play those characters, but at the same time, welcome to Rocket Tag. You're going to die.
Oh boy.
So I would absolutely suggest playing Pathfinder either first or second edition. I've only played first edition Pathfinder. Second edition, I have heard a lot of great things where it's not. They tried changing the action economy so that it's not move and attack with optional bonus action, and instead I think you have just straight 3 actions, and you can choose to attack 3 times, you can move extra far, you can do a bunch of weird stuff. Sometimes spells take 2 actions to do, so, but instead of having like, this is a move action, this is a standard action, this is etc., it's just like, here are your 3 actions. What do you want to do, bud? And typically the minuses that you get from attacking consistently, like if you just want to attack 3 straight times, the minus that you get on that last attack makes it unlikely that you'll actually hit. So it actually incentivizes using the various skills and abilities you have to like do a debuff of some sort, you know, try and trip an enemy, demoralize them, piss in their face. It doesn't matter. It's just anything to get them minuses on their abilities so that your friends are able to beat the shit out of them better. So, yeah, it's a fun time.
Okay.
I really like other non-5e systems. 5e.
I can tell.
Like,
He has a good reason to like them.
Yes, I can tell. Like, you've gone on these adventures of explaining these systems before.
yeah, it just bothers me that 5e is like, which pair of pants do you want to climb into?
Basically, yeah.
And I am very much like, I
wanna
can
go
make
in my damn pants.
I can make an interesting character that fits into this role, but like, Relic's entire build is not unique. It is like, with how effective you see it that it is, there are so many different versions of Relic. Like, this one is flavored in a specific way and is absolutely unique based on the system that we're playing. You know, not every divination wizard, typically they're halflings, but thanks to the custom feat, they don't have like fire immunity. That's crazy that I have that. I think it's super cool that I have it as well, because
I mean, that's very nice.
that flex was so great.
Fireball me, bitch!
As great as this conversation is going, I do need to stop here.
Real.
Yes, real.
Don't wanna.
I don't want to either, but I need to see how everyone here is doing. A friend of the family just died, so I have to go deal with that now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry to end on a bit of a downer, but I'm okay.
Hey, it is what it is. It's part of life, you know?
I'm okay. Really.
Yeah, so long as you're okay.
I just ran a session of D&D. You really think I'm okay. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time.